Well, hello everyone, welcome back to Zomboland Gaming. I am obviously Zombo Skater, and today we're gonna do something different, something new. So first we're gonna have a little bit of a talky talk, and then we're gonna get into the game. So I have yet to talk about all the games that I personally own, and I would love to start doing other series, other different games, especially if you guys are interested in seeing them, either just as a showcase of what the game's potential is, or how I like it, or just whatever, right? A one-off. Like in the case of this may just be a one-off, depending. But also if you'd like to see other series that I play, or if you would like to play other games with me. So here is my current computer, my PC-based games. I could pull up my Xbox and show you the 200 games that I have on Xbox. But this is my folder here. So we've got BattleNet, obviously that's Blizzard. So Diablo 2, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, StarCraft. I don't play World of Warcraft anymore because I don't have a subscription to it. And then obviously I have, it just shows Call of Duty Modern Warfare here, but I have Black Ops 2. I think that's it on my computer. The rest of them are all on my Xbox. Then we got Battlestate, which is Escape from Tarkov. Holy crap, the worst, hardest game ever. Elder Scrolls, I actually own all of the Elder Scrolls games, but for some reason I've only put these ones on here. I actually have the really cool pack that has like all of the Elder Scrolls games ever. Epic is obviously Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite anymore. I just got so tired of it. Idle games, that's just, games that I play by myself when I'm doing other work. Minecraft, I do play a lot of modded Minecraft, but I haven't really played Minecraft in a while. Actually, I have some issues with my login right now. But I mainly do redstone builds and then recreations or real life world buildings on there. I do have a Minecraft Windows 10 realm. I've been in the process of designing and building my own Java server, but I've been so busy with work and doing all my other YouTube stuff that I have yet to finish getting that up and running. One day though, Origin, all the Battlefields, and then Sims 4. Don't really play Sims 4, but all the Battlefields. I definitely don't play Apex on my computer. I am horrible trash at that game. Steam, so you've seen some of these, I think. Well, maybe no, I haven't played any of these on streams yet. So Graveyard Keeper, love that game. Stardew Valley, I have played so many hours of Stardew Valley. I actually have a 200 freaking mod Stardew Valley game that I play that is absolutely hilarious and fun. Sunhaven, I just started playing a couple weeks ago. Really great game. It's very much Stardew Valley-like, but with magic and stuff. Oxygen not included. I'm trash at, but love the game. Medieval Dynasty is good, very good city builder slash open world survival crafting kind of game. Really like it. Linear games, these are just games that I, they have quests and they have a purpose. They go straight like the Halo kind of game, which you'll see in the Windows 10 folder. Portal, loved. Resident Evil Village, I have yet to play yet. I'm going to be doing a series on that. And then of course all the Tomb Raiders. MMORPG, I played so much Neverwinter that I basically stopped playing it. I used to play the ever-living crap out of that game. Multiplayer, these are just, ones that I get on with my Canadian friends and some other people, like Among Us. I usually play Among Us on my phone, not on here. Dead by Daylight, trash at it. I always get killed over and over and over again. Non-linear quests, these are just kind of games that, like, they're sort of open world, but not really, and that you can just do quests whenever you want to do the quest, or not necessarily in a particular order. Life is Strange, we are going to be doing a series on all of these, as I think they're going to tie in real well to what I eventually want to start doing things that deal with mental health and have discussions on mental health and whatnot. It's something that's very important and near and dear to me. So we're going to have a series on those. Rogue, these are some of my favorite games ever to play, and specifically you've seen Enter the Gungeon on my streams. Obviously Undermine I have a series of that I need to get back into again. I kind of got not bored with the game just because I got on my main account I played through it, but I started failing over and over and over again, and that's not the content you guys wanted to see. I wasn't progressing fast enough, and I kind of took a break because of Satisfactory, but that will be coming back. Boyfriend Dungeon, we've seen a couple episodes of that will be coming back. Once I figure Black Skylands out a little bit more, this will become a series as well. Shooter games, man, if I can get a good squad together, playing squad or insurgency, so much better than every battle royale game ever made. These are just so intense, so much to do, so much to concentrate and focus on. They just did such a great job of those. Arma 3, just come on, it's just a great game to play. It's just absolutely hilarious and funny if you do it in the right way, but also very good battle simulator. Simulators, this is what we're going to be doing today, is Turing Complete. I downloaded this game a couple days ago, and this is what we're going to be doing in this video. And then, of course, some of the other ones. BeamNG, if I can get the steering wheel and all that stuff, I will be playing BeamNG. Survival games. Clearly, I like my survival games, as we have seen. Obviously, we were playing Satisfactory. Back when I streamed on Mixer all the time, I used to play an ever-living crap ton of Rust. We've seen some Cryofall videos. I also used to stream Ark Survival Evolved. I don't have my server anymore, but I used to have a server. Breath Edge will be becoming a series on this channel. So will probably 7 Days to Die. And some of these other ones might as well. But obviously, we're focusing big time on Satisfactory. The Forager will probably also become one. I'm really liking these. And then Icarus. Once Icarus beta is no longer in beta here at the end of November, this will definitely be becoming a series. Visual novel animes. I never thought I would ever get into visual novels, but I love them. I'm just clearly I like anime. I mean, I'm wearing my Nezuko, Demon Slayer shirt right now. I've gotten really big into those. And then I think we've got Ubisoft, which is all the Far Cry games. My favorite game series of all time. I mean, Halo. Halo is what got me into Xbox and took me from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System to then becoming the gamer I am today, was all because of Halo, the original. But Far Cry was really the first game that I completed the entire game and was just I couldn't stop playing it. So those are there. And then Tom Clancy, Wildlands. I've streamed that a couple times. Loving that game. And then finally, Windows 10 games. So I just have Grounded, Forza Horizon 4, which Forza Horizon actually was one of my best stream games on Mixer. I really need to start doing it again, but it's weird with the keyboard. I like the controller. I'd like to have my my steering wheel. Sea of Thieves, I love playing that. So those are all my games. So that out of the way, if you have any of those games that you either want to play with me or would like to see me do a series on, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so today's game is called Turing Complete. Did I close out of this Turing Complete? I did, didn't I? Video games, go back into video games. Where are we at? Steam, Simulator, Turing Complete. So I have a lot of games, by the way. I also have a Raspberry Pi with a whole bunch of games on it, and my Xbox is on my desk. So this game, the whole purpose of this game and the whole reason I downloaded it is because I have an engineering background, specifically in nuclear engineering, but now I'm working in a tire manufacturing facility. Don't ask me how I went from being on a nuclear submarine to being in a tire manufacturing facility, but hey, this is where I got. I spent most of my time with electrical motors and electrical stuff, but I do things with steam systems, pneumatic systems, hydraulic systems, robotics, computers, you name it, we work on it. And so I've learned a lot over the years, but I always had this love of binary. We had to take a Boolean logic class back in nuclear power school, and I failed it miserably. I mean, I was 17 years old when I took it too, and I had no idea about computers. I thought I was going to be a mechanic, and I became an electrician. So I had no understanding of Boolean logic whatsoever. Even though I really understood algebra, for some reason my brain just couldn't equate the Boolean logic. And then Minecraft, 2010, one redstone torch and a piece of redstone dust. My brain goes, that's a NOT gate. Oh, I can do this. And all of a sudden, all these logic gates started making sense. The zeros and ones made sense in my brain. And I have built an 8-bit working computer inside Minecraft. I've taken the 74 series logic chips from the late 80s, the real life IC chips, and turned them into Minecraft chips, right? So I had this love for it. So I saw this game, and the whole purpose of this game is you start off with basic logic, and you eventually will build an entire circuit for a working computer that then you will make the machine code, and then you will make a small program for. So unfortunately, I've already played through the first part of this, so we're gonna just basically cover for those that would like to play this game and need a little help. That's essentially what this game is going to be for. I'm going to timestamp it where we go from level to level. We're going to go through all the levels. I think the first portion, the basic logic gates, together, and so that way, for those that need some help, we'll be able to timestamp, go to that portion. Otherwise, it's kind of a basic overview of basic logic gates, and then as we get through the game later on, we'll eventually get to the point of building a whole computer together. So here we go. So some caveats to this. I'm liking the game so far. It's cheeky. They really challenge you, make you think about what you're trying to do, but on some of the portions, it's in the wrong way. So if you have zero understanding of binary whatsoever, this game is going to be a metric pain in the ass. Because if you don't understand what the zeros and ones are trying to do, you're going to be completely lost. I mean, eventually you could probably flounder through putting stuff on the screen and make it work. but you may not quite understand why it worked. So going to things like Wikipedia or just typing in Boolean logic or digital theory or whatever, right, and doing a little study on basic logic gates will greatly help in this. Understanding what they call Karnaugh maps, which if we come down over here, I think, yeah, right here. So if you type in on the googly googlies, just type in Karnaugh, that's Karnaugh map, right? This is going to help you out later. We will get to this when we do stuff later on. But kind of in the back of your mind, maybe go look up on Wiki or whatnot, Karnaugh map, and this will help us out later. And then as far as other things, I like to use this program. It's called Logicism. Logism. Fuck, I don't know. I can't word. But it's a free program, and I can actually create circuits here. I can even come in here and do combinational stuff where I can create what's called a truth table, which we'll discuss when we get to them in the game. But I can actually create a truth table and tell it to build a circuit for me, which is kind of cool because then I can actually play around with the circuit, make it simulate things coming on and off, that sort of deal. But here's the game. So it gives you, there's no music. I really wish there was music, but basically it's got various different portions and they step through pretty good. So it starts off with basic logic, separates out to memory and arithmetic, and then separates that out into CPU architecture, which technically after you make your processor, technically you have a working computer at that point, not going to do much more than really add. And then programming. So what do you want your computer to do? And then building up to either a Van Neumann model or some other model of computer architecture, adding functions into that so your computer can do not just adding and subtracting, but multiplication, division, floating points, integers, all that sort of stuff. And then we'll actually assemble a program and do some stuff with it. So currently you can see that I've gotten through all the basic logic and I've done part of the memory and part of the arithmetic. So we're just going to cover this bottom portion here today. On the right here, you can see three symbols. This is a NOT gate, an OR gate, and an AND gate. Here's one of my frustrations with this. The very first thing that they start you off with is a NAND gate. If you don't know what an AND gate is, and you don't know what a NOT gate is, how can you know what a NAND gate is, right? So already off the bat, problem there. But so it does do some things all right. However, there's also some spots where even for somebody like me, it's like, what are you trying to get me to do? It doesn't quite pose the question properly, and you have to flounder through it until you figure out what they're trying to do. But congratulations, you have been abducted. I have. We are testing you. The rules are simple. Build a functional computer or you will be eaten. No, please don't eat me. Good luck. Okay, a signal flows from the in to the out component in the upper left corner under input, right here. There's a green icon. Click on it to turn the input off. Did it. Done. Notice the out component is turned off. It's in a red now. This is because the signal stopped flowing from the in component. So in to out, right? So that's what it's trying to show you as it goes in to out. Green is on, red is off. Crude Awakening. Next level. We are very impressed with how well you completed the last test. Continue. We have just, I really didn't need to say continue, did I? We have decided you are probably not a plant. I sometimes am a vegetable. If you have ever seen me, I am sometimes a vegetable. In this level, the challenge is to figure out how the NAND, which stands for NOT AND Gate, component works. Be sure to figure it out before you complete this level or you will get stuck in the next level. All right, first time to take some spicy juice. Pirate juice. All right, so this wants to do a NAND gate. So unfortunately, some of these are already going to be filled in because I've already done them. This one is actually already here for you. What it's wanting you to do is it wants you to come down here to the bottom of the screen and click on these little buttons here and change them from red to green, right? So this is what's called a truth table. What it's basically telling us is my input on or off? And in this case, I have two inputs. So in the first case, and what they call ticks, right? So from left to right is each tick of a clock or each tick of a program or however you want to consider it in this case, but it's step one. There we go. That's probably a better term. Step one, step two, step three, step four. So there's 4 steps in this. So on the first step, no power on the inputs. So what is happening through our gate here? Our gate is just small little transistors that have been put together in such a way that it makes, current flow through. So in this case, we have no power, which means no currents flowing through. However, because this takes and makes the opposite of the output, then it's going to be turned on. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click green for our output because we can clearly see that our green is on. Do I not have a button to move on? Oh, wait, what? Hold on. Let's reload this. It didn't quite do it properly. It shouldn't. Oh. I see what they wanted me to do. Okay, so it turned green, right? So now I need to turn input 1 on because we know we have our little controls up here. So now input 1 is turned on, but input 2 is not on, and you can see we still have an output coming out. Okay, so turn that to green. Turn this one off, turn input 2 on, and we can see that, hey, we still have an output. Okay, let's turn this to green. Now let's turn both of them on. Oh, look at this. Our output turned off. We got 2 on, output's off. So we'll turn this to red. So the NAND gate, based on our truth table, which is going to tell us how all these components work, and as we start putting more and more components together, we'll be able to make a big truth table that will tell us the minimum amount of components we need to make a circuit. Because we could throw like 5 NAND gates on here and still have it do the exact same output, but why would you have 5 components if you only need 1, right? So that's kind of what the truth table is doing for us, showing what does this component do so we can use the least amount of components possible. So now we do know that if anything is off at all, if anything is off, we're gonna get an output. If anything is like, if both of them are on, then we're not gonna get an output. So the only way this turns off is if we have both of the inputs on. Correct. You've unlocked the NAND gate. With this component, you can build everything else in your computer. So this is something I do like. We can't, like, I personally know all of the other logic gates. So I can build circuits that aren't available yet. So they do step it through to where you can only build something if you have that component unlocked. So that's kind of cool, right? All right, the next gate is a NOT gate, which I think they should have put first. It should have been NOT, then NAND, because NOT AND is what a NAND gate is. Now that you unlock the NAND gate, it is time for you to build a circuit. Last level, you made the table that described the circuit. In this level, you will build the circuit that matches the table. So kind of what we just discussed. So using NAND gates, build a NOT gate. So in electronic components, mostly everything is built with NOR and NAND gates. Like when you look down in a microscope at the IC chip, it's built off of NAND or NOR gates. And then they build all the other gates based off of that, even though in circuitry, we'll just represent it with one symbol instead of, like in the case of what we're going to see here later on, a whole bunch of things to make one thing. So using NAND gates, build the NOT gate. So we know that a NAND gate is only off if we have both the inputs on, and a NOT gate is the opposite basically. So if we have one input coming in and it's on, it's going to turn the output off. If the input is off, then we're going to turn the output on. So that's what our thing is going to be here. So all we have to do in this case is we got nothing coming in, so we know we're going to get an output out. Even if we only have one of these on, we know we're going to get an output because that's what a NAND gate does. If both of these turn on, then we're going to get no output, which is satisfies this down here. So all we have to do is we're just basically splitting this off. So if I come in here and delete this line right here, like basically this one would always be off now. It would forever be off, which means the input would, or the output would always be on. So all I did was I just took from here and went boop and just connected. I just split off the input to both. So now both of these inputs technically to the NAND gate are seeing the exact same thing as the overall input. So if we step it through, you can see that there we go. We satisfied it. Oh, hold on. Let me reset that. So this is the first state. Both our inputs are off. We got an output. This is the second state. You can see we're having power go both directions. Now we don't have an output. By the way, over here, so the little 3 lines here takes you back to the main menu. Level log just goes through what Yahoo over here talked about. The save button allows you to create a new schematic. Like if you want to like try and attempt to do it better, you can add a new schematic instead of having to delete stuff, which is what I did here. So that's the drawing that I had before. And then I come in here and go new schematic, and I had already done this before. So that's out of that. And then the manual, as you progress through the game, it's going to put little bits of information down here for you to read. And then plus and minus lets you zoom in and out of the small little portions. So the light blue here is where we can build, is our build platform. Obviously, we can turn inputs on and off over here. And then the next tick is steps, the next step, right? And then run ticks just runs the whole entire program, you could say. Reset takes you back to reset. Multi-select is just like multi-select in like Microsoft Paint or any kind of program, right? New circuit is this, giving you your lines. Control Z does work, so does delete. Like if you have something selected, you can hit delete. Control C and Control V also work, I believe. Then delete obviously is a trash can. You can change colors before you do anything, and then the wire comment means I can come in here and I can be like output, and then bam, now you can see this says output on it. All right, so now we'll go back to level map. We've already done that one, so now we have 3 selections. I'm going to select the middle one just because progression wise this is how I would do it. OR gate. You should be happy you get to participate in our glorious tests. You get a chance to communicate with your very advanced people from the oh my god, I can't word. With very advanced people from the galactic civilization. And if you win, you get to participate in the Emperor's Parade. Yay. All right. So what this is wanting to do is it wants, if there's nothing turned on, there'll be nothing out. But if anything is turned on, then it's going to have an output. This schematic wise is what we saw on that first screen. It's kind of like the Star Trek emblem. It's kind of what an OR gate looks like. I don't have to put any gates here whatsoever. I just connect both of my inputs to this output, and it doesn't matter. If anything's turned on at all, that's going to turn on. So we'll see that right here. Nothing's turned on, nothing out. One's turned on, and ignore it coming back into here. You know, if you know anything about real electrical wiring, wherever you have a connection point, that's going to flow power through that connection point. So this connection point is just flowing back to here, but it's not doing anything because the power is wanting to come this way. And we'll see that when I go to the next tick. Now you can see it reversed here, but it's still connecting to this output. And then finally, you can see that both of them are turned on and turning our output on. So that is an OR gate. An OR gate is either or both. As long as something is turned on, you will get an output. These truth tables will become important later on when we start building bigger circuits, and you'll actually see me start to write them down. I'll go into an Excel spreadsheet and make a truth table. I don't want to discourage you, but I think the large gray creature with the trunk and the large ears is going to win. He thinks an elephant is smarter than me. No offense, but your brain is tiny in comparison. Well, he might squish me. Don't worry, I am your guide and I will do my best to help you. Thanks, dude. Also, conceding involves a large amount of paperwork. Well, okay then. I'm not going to concede. I don't want you to have to do paperwork. Create the circuit that matches the table. Double-click a component to also select its pins. Okay, so down here, we see that we don't want any output unless both are turned on. So, unfortunately, they don't give us an AND gate, which would satisfy this truth table. But we do have a NAND gate. And if we look at the terms, N, AND, not AND gate. So all we got to do is take a NAND gate and invert the output, which is already inverted. So we're taking an inverted AND gate and then inverting the output again. So if we step through this, all I did here was I connected the input to a NAND gate. And if you see this right here, you can see these 3 tiny little triangles. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Zoom in here. You can see that there's little circles flowing around these 3 points. So we got our 2 inputs and our outputs. So all I did was I connected my 2 inputs, connected my output to a NOT gate, and now we're inverted. So if we step it through, you can see on the first tick, there's no power. So we have an output from our NAND gate, because that's what we know happens with a NAND gate. And then we're inverting that signal. So we're going from on to off again. Now we have 1 input coming in. We know the NAND gate's still going to output. Once again, it's off. Go to the B input, same thing. Now we're going to have both inputs on, which means we're going to get no output, because that's the only time a NAND turns off is when you have both inputs, and then we're just inverting that to get the off state to turn on. So that is an AND gate. I really wish they would have started with not, and, or, then NAND, then NOR. So NOR gate, same exact thing. All we're going to do is take an OR gate and invert it. Earthling creatures are truly an unruly barbaric lot. Worst of all were your cousin species, the other apes. One very rude representative was disqualified for destroying expensive test equipment. We have decided not to disqualify you since you were only distant family. Very distant family. But I would advise, by time. I don't mean by genetic code, by time. But I would advise you to be ashamed nonetheless. To succeed in this next test, you will have to learn how to place components in circuitry while not destroying test equipment. Well, seeing as how this test equipment is mine, my guy, not going to destroy it. Ooh, that's delicious spicy juice. All right, so we already saw before, if I was just to remove the... Just like this, thank you. Ah, I'm moving the whole thing. No, just move this, thank you. We already saw before that this right here was what I called my OR gate before. All we're doing, same thing we did with the NAND gate, just putting a NOT in there to invert the output. So if we see nothing, then we have an output. I have any input turned on at all, we get no output. That is a NOR gate, a not OR gate. All right, moving on to the next thing. So this is going to be always on. So we just got a few more to go here. To be honest, we are not actually here to find another species to have conversations with. Actually, you're all contestants in a reality show called Are You Smarter Than a Fling Florp? Fling Florp. The part about winners going to the Emperor's Parade and losers getting eaten was true, though. Ugh. As your guide, I am sorry. I shouldn't have lied. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Thanks, my guy. All right, so basically what they want me to do here is they want me to always have an output. So we can see from our truth table here, it doesn't matter if our input is turned on or off, we always want to have an output. So in the case of an OR gate, right, we know that as long as there is something turned on, we will get an output. Cool, but if something turns off, we're not going to get an output. I can't use an AND gate because an AND gate requires both an on signal on both sides in order to get an output. A NAND gate requires no signal to get an output, or one to get an output, right? So all we have to do here is we're splitting the input to one line is the actual input and the other line is an inverted signal. So if one of these is on, then that means the other one's going to be off. And if both of these, are on, we'll get an off there. No matter what, we're going to get a signal, right? So if this is turned off, so we get 0 coming here, 0 coming here, we'll then flip to 1 here, and then we'll get a 1 out, as we'll see. So see, nothing is turned on. This inverts, so we get a signal out. Both of these are turned on. This inverts to 0, but it doesn't matter because we have 1 going here. So we're turned on. So that's always on. Second tick. As we know, these tests accumulate in building a functioning computer. Species that are capable of finishing are considered sentient by law. This is the main reason we don't eat you afterwards. I really want to know what you consider sentient, my guy. Output on the second tick only. So as we can see from our truth table down here, when input 1 is turned on and only input 1 is turned on, we want to have an output. Otherwise, we don't want to have anything turned on. So here's where the AND gate actually comes in handy. So like the OR gate, if I turn input 1 on, I'm going to have a 1 here. Well, if B turns on, I don't want the AND gate to complete because I don't want both inputs to be on to give me an output. So all I'm doing is I'm inverting the B output. So no matter what state the B output is in, it will never affect the output unless just 1 is. So we'll step it through and you can see that everything's turned off, which means the inverted B output goes here, but the AND gate doesn't do anything. If we turn input 1 on, you can see the B is off, but it inverts to a 1, satisfying the need for the AND gate to AND out. If we turn B input on, it turns itself back off. Not that it would matter because the A input is off anyway, so we don't satisfy the AND gate. And if both of them turn on, you can see once again we inverted the B, so it doesn't affect the AND gate whatsoever. So that's a way that if we wanted to do the third tick, like say we wanted to see if only the B input is turned on, we would just move our NOT gate up to the A and then just straight in with the B. Yeah. Okay, so exclusive OR gate. That's what XOR means. Exclusively an OR gate. So last level, you built a circuit that was on when we were at the second tick. This level built a circuit that is on when we were at both the second and third tick. This is also known as an XOR gate. This level is difficult, so don't be discouraged if you don't get the answer right away. So for those of you that don't want to struggle with this, a lot of these you can just go online and search up XOR schematic, XOR logic gate, whatever, and it'll bring up this exact schematic. I already knew this from a long time ago, but it's easy enough to find, and the logic of it is pretty sound and easy too. I think I built a little bit different of a view. Yeah, I color coordinated it. So as we saw from the second tick in the last one, right? If we put an input into an AND and an input, an inverted input into the AND, then only one of those inputs is going to make that AND gate actually complete. So all we're doing here is we're saying either or, because we're taking our A input and putting an inverted signal to one of the AND gates and the regular signal to the other. And then on the second input, we're just switching it. So we have the regular signal coming up here from B with the inverted A, and we have the inverted B going to the regular A. So that way, only when either A or B is turned on, exclusively just A or B turned on will give us one of these AND gates outputting. And then, of course, like we know with the OR gate, it doesn't matter. As long as something is turned on, we will get an output. So as you can see there, we got power turned off. So both of our inverters are turned on, but because power is turned off, neither one of these AND gates is functioning. When we turn on input A, you can see input A comes down here. B is off, so it inverts, and now this AND gate is satisfied coming through the OR gate out. But over here, our B is turned off, and our A is turned off, so nothing's coming through. And then when we swap over to the B side, functions the exact same way, just opposite. B is turned on, A is inverted, we get an output of our AND gate out, there we go. And when both of them turn on, our inverters turn off, not satisfying the AND gates, so we get nothing out. So that is an exclusive OR, exclusively only when one is turned on. All right, here goes a bigger OR gate. So all we're doing here is we're adding more inputs. That's all we're doing. So eventually you'll be able to have a component on here that will give you multiple inputs in. Although I also think the way this game works is that I could actually just go like this and just go boom, boom, boom. I'm pretty sure that would work with this. But of course we're not gonna actually do that. We're gonna, try and make the function proper. So in Boolean, they express everything with instead of it being input 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, right? So A would just be the actual whatever value is, whether it's turned off or on. So, 0 or 1. 2, same thing, which would be B in my case, 0 or 1. If you invert that, all you do is you put the letter or the number, like in the case of 1 here, you would put a little apostrophe next to it. So it'd be a prime is what they call it. And so all we're doing here is we're going A or B coming out, which now becomes A and B. B or C, which now becomes BC coming out. And then we're just ORing AB with BC. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me come out here to nope, not that. Let me bring up a notepad. So what we're doing here is, let me bring this over. So all we're doing here is our output, which I'm going to call Y. Let me zoom in. View, zoom, no, not out. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Holy crap. Can I, is there a hotkey for that? Control plus. All right. Control and plus. There we go. All right. There we go. Nice, nice. So that's our output. And then we've got 3 inputs, right? B and C. So those are our inputs. But what we're doing with this OR gate, we're taking A, and then in this scenario, plus equals OR, and a minus equals AND. So A plus B. And then we've got another circuit, which is B plus C, right? And then we're going to OR these together as well. So this is all we're doing. And where is my stupid little symbols here? So we go like this, and then we'll put a plus, and then go like this. So this is what we're doing. We're taking A or B, B or C, and then ORing those 2 equations together as well to get this out. So this part is AB, this is BC, and then this is that combination of whichever one comes out. I hope that made sense. It might not have. So as you can see, 1 turns on. Doesn't matter that B's not turned on. 1 comes out here. B and C aren't turned on, so it doesn't matter. It still comes out. And the same thing happens for everything. As long as something is turned on, we're going to get an output. This one over here is going to be the same thing, just with AND gates. The exact same things. But we know with AND gates that it takes both of them to be together. So 1 and 2... to turn this on, 2 and 3 to turn this one on, and then get an output out. So as we can see right there, the only time we get an output out is see B and C turn on, but see this one's not turned on, and then bam, now that we have all 3 of them turned on, 1 and 2 gets this out, 2 and 3 gets this out, and then our combination of 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 get an output. So that is just a way to make another one. It's just A and B and C. You have to have all 3 of them together in order to get an output. All right, and where does that takes us to the final one of today. This has been a pretty long, lengthy video. The intros always are. I think from this point on, we'll probably just focus on like one or two of them at a time. So exclusive NOR gate. This is going to be pretty simple. We're taking an exclusive OR gate and just inverting the output. Create the inverse exclusive OR gate known as an exclusive NOR gate. There we go. We now actually have, and this is the, I haven't really explained this yet. We now have symbols up here that we can come in and grab our gates, right? All we did is we now have an exclusive OR gate. We put it down. We took an inverter and inverted it. That is it. That is all we did. Bam, bam, done. So the opposite of either or being on exclusively, now it's both of them have to either be off or on. Both off or both on in order to satisfy it. So that is basically now all of the basic logic gates. Like I said, I'm going to have timestamps so that way you can go through and figure all these out. The cool thing about this is you can build these in Minecraft. There's a lot of other games like Rust and some other games that you can actually utilize this inside other video games when creating electrical wiring things. And then, of course, obviously in real life as well, like making breadboard computers. One of these days I'll have to break out my breadboard computer and show it to you. It is kind of it was packed away in a box and is not functioning quite well. My ALU is kind of broken and miswired all over the place, so I have to refix it. But so this is kind of the game. We get into some pretty crazy stuff later on. Like right now, these are the two that I'm on, like making negative numbers. It steps up in difficulty quite quickly. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope some of you guys might be interested in it. It's really good as far as a learning tool. Once you get past kind of the fact that they don't give you all of the lesson before diving you into trying to figure it out, adds that pretty cool challenging element to me, but also lacks a little bit. Like I really think that in the manual, they should like in this little manual here, that's the level map, not the manual. In here, after every single step, they should give you the truth tables in here and a description about the gate in here about what it actually does, in my opinion. Because also it hasn't, in my opinion, so starting off with, it would be what is a 0, what is a 1? That is an off and an on. That is binary, 1 bit of binary. If I have a 0 and a 0 together, that is a binary for 0, but it's actually a bit 2 and a bit 1. Like it doesn't discuss what that is. It kind of gets into it here in a little bit, but that's where I would have started before I even moved into it. So anyway, this has been a long episode for what it is, but the intro episodes are always going to be long. It's going to be shorter after this point. Like I said, we're just going to kind of cover 1 or 2 each time. Like maybe we'll just cover these 3 next time and then these 2, whatever. We'll figure it out if you guys want to see it more. So anyway, this is Zombo Skater. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment, especially comment if you want to see me do some of the other series off of the videos that you saw at the games that you saw at the beginning. And I'll catch you guys in the next Satisfactory episode, which will be out this coming Wednesday. See you guys later. Ta-ta for now. Bye.